by Susie Orba, who mentioned this today, and she wasn't able to be here today, so we're here. And the last thing we did with anybody was the launch of a campaign called Endangered Species, where we worked on the premise that people that can just leave the house and do whatever they want to do, go swimming, go shopping, do anything without constantly worrying about the way they look while they're doing those things, those people are becoming an endangered species increasingly, and we're trying to do something about that. And we're working with loads of the other organisations and people that are here as well. I personally, I'm a PhD student, and I work with actors, and I look at what the drama schools are doing to work with actors to prepare them for the industry that they're going into to work. So you all know that actors are the faces of loads of the films and the magazine pictures and the media that you see that you might feel puts pressure on you. But they're also human beings, and they go to school and they learn how to act, but they also have to learn what they're willing to do to make themselves look attractive on film and to get work. So they can't just go out like I could and decide, this is the way I look and I want to stay that way, because they might feel that they're not going to get any work then. But on the other hand, we want to encourage the actors to push for being able to look the way that they look. So we're putting things in place in the curriculum in drama schools to give actors a space to think about those things, because they usually don't get time to think about that. The reason that I'm doing that is because I work with actors, and movement and moving the body shows the most of all the way that we feel inhibitions, or that we're comfortable or not comfortable with our bodies. I think that putting things into the curriculum for the actors is important, and it's just as important for all of you guys, but you might disagree. I think that all of these issues, they eat up our time, they eat up our energy, they take our focus away from things that are way more joyful and important than thinking about the way that we look constantly or the way that we feel in our bodies. And lots and lots of aspects impact on that. Yes, we talk about the influence of media images, things that happen in the brain might have something to do with it. Also, the way that your parents talk about their bodies, and the way your parents are with their bodies, the way your friends talk about their bodies and are with their bodies, and the things that you're taught and encouraged to do, to eat, to go to the gym, the way that what you think is healthy, and that idea that if you're a controlled and good human being on the inside, that has to show through a controlled and good body on the outside, and somebody else is making a decision about what that good is, and that needs to change. I think that media literacy will be a really powerful and important weapon in schools dealing with this, and giving people space to think about these things critically. And some of the work that Stephanie does with girls will illustrate that.
So I'm just going to show you a show reel of some of the young girls and young women that I work with, and I'm going to talk about that afterwards. So I'm Stephanie, and I have the privilege to work with beautiful, creative, purpose-built young women. And my passion is basically to enable them to see that too. So I currently work as sorry, that's fine. Yeah. So I currently work as a yeah, that's on purpose. I currently work as a creative director, challenging my creative abilities into projects and campaigns for young women. And Stephanie Hart is basically me responding to what's been placed in my heart to do for young women in my community. My community at the beginning was about 10 young girls, but due to the interest in the projects over the years, Stephanie Hart has formed naturally by itself a community of now over 100 participants in the project so far. I'm just going to tell you a short story about how I got involved in these issues and why I began, which is Stephanie Hart. Well, basically, I was driving home from a youth session that I lead at my local church for young women, and I was dropping one of the girls home. She was telling me a story. She goes, "Stephanie, I left the house one day without no makeup on." I was like, "Great, cool." And she goes to me, "I was going down to my local store and I saw somebody that I knew." I was like, "Okay." And she goes, "Well, I ran and hid from this person." I was like, "Why did you do that?" She goes, "Well, I didn't think I was beautiful without makeup on. Well, I don't think I'm beautiful without makeup on. I think I'm ugly without makeup on." And this girl was about 14, 15 years old at the time. And I thought to myself, what can make a beautiful young girl at the age of 14 believe that without makeup she's going to look beautiful? That beauty was something that she had to buy, not something that she indeed was. So I began using media as a tool to educate and inspire young people and women and the community to an alternative view on beauty, on their value, on their worth. I use photography and film and design to help young people to engage in and analyse the media that's being portrayed to them and sold to you guys. I'm going to show you guys a clip which basically illustrates why I do what I do. And there's such a pressure on this new generation of young women coming up today to be anything other than who you are naturally. Be, you know, if you want, you know, if you're slim, you need to have curves. If you have smaller breasts, you need to have bigger breasts. You have bigger breasts, you have smaller breasts. So there's a constant change in cycle. And I was just talking to Rowena earlier about my realisation when I went down to the high street and I went into H&M. I don't know if I can say this, but anyway, I went into H&M and I tried on some clothes and I couldn't fit into anything. Nothing, the top wouldn't come up. And I was like, what's going on? I just went to shop a few months ago and I fit into everything fine. I went home and tried on the same outfit and I still fitted into it. So I took my mum down with me to the store. I was like, "Mummy, look, nothing fits me in this store." I started trying on. My mum's a bit louder than me. She was like, oh my gosh, nothing fits you in this store. This store's not selling our size, let's go to another shop. So I had the realisation that I'm not going to be the same size I was when I was 12 years old. And my body changes and you grow and you develop, and no matter how much the stores or the media might say you need to be this size to be perfect or to be beautiful, the way you are naturally is who you are. And what I work at doing is encouraging young girls and young women to believe and to understand that your natural form is beautiful. So I'm just going to show you guys a clip of some of the girls that I work with and the effects of the culture, the current culture on them. What do you like about your natural appearance?
I don't know. I don't know. My natural appearance. Maybe my lip colour. My hair. And my eyes. That's about it, really. No, I don't like the fact that I have no eyebrows. I like my eyes are not really brought out as much as when I do have makeup. My eyelashes, they're really like light and thin. Like how my skin scars, or like my nose, when I smile it goes really wide. My skin colour maybe, it's a bit too pale, pasty for sometimes, and then my eyebrows are like naturally big, and then yeah, my nose, I hate it so much, and my lips could be a bit big.
So there's an emphasis in Western culture on changing the natural appearance in order to be considered beautiful. And in 2009, I conducted a study, a focus group of the young women in my community in West London. I did a series of different focus groups, and I asked them questions in relation to the media and their body image. And from the study, 100% of the girls that who were in the focus groups wanted to change aspects of their natural appearance. And they felt they could not compare or compete with the images in the media. And it led them to wanting to use the products that are through advertisement to change aspects of themselves to reach an ideal. And hopefully, I hope all you guys agree with me, the girls in the video, they're absolutely beautiful. And I come across and work with so many girls. And the key issue that I find is that there's a lack of self-worth and a lack of self-confidence in who you are. And the messages that are portrayed through the media is pushing on young girls and women today to be anything other than who you are naturally. So both myself and Rowena believe that media literacy is so crucial and important to help in schools, to help young people understand and analyse the messages that are portrayed to them, but also how do you view yourself in relation to what you see. You know, what I realise is that even when I showed the girls how the pictures have been altered through Photoshop, because I'm working with this sort of stuff, so I showed them how it's been altered, how it's been changed, they still wanted to look like the ideal, even though they've seen how it's been altered. So how do you work at changing what is ideal to a young person? And honestly, helping them believe actually the way you are is beautiful and being comfortable with who you are. Okay, so, and one quick quote I'm going to say is that one of the girls from the project said this to me, and I want to tell you guys here, since I didn't know so many of the young people are going to be here. She said she learned I've learned to be more comfortable being myself than uncomfortable trying to be somebody else. And what we believe that's important is just as important as these resources and these workshops is those who are going to be teaching them. There's some sort of investment into the training of the teachers or bringing external staff is just as important as the actual resources, because teachers, as you all know, play a really important and big role. And you've all had good teachers and bad teachers, and you know the difference that it has and the effects of how much you believe. And one of the girls said to me, "Oh, Stephanie, you have the power to see me the way that I am beneath all of this," which enabled her to believe in herself in that way. And so the teachers need to believe in what they're talking about, be passionate about it in order to take others through it too. So I think that's just as important. So.
Yes, well, that's kind of the key. I think the key thing that we want to introduce in terms of what we would like to see included in workshops like this would be on the side of the facilitators and the people that maybe don't have in-depth knowledge because they haven't researched this for years and they don't work on it all of the time, to take, for example, some time out to ask themselves the questions first. Ask themselves as a teacher, am I on a diet? Why? Do I go to the gym? Why? Am I confident about my body? Why or why not? So that they've analysed those things before they go and talk to you guys about them, because you're clever and you know when your teacher's trying to be something that they're not. So I think, and then I just wanted to say in terms of effects of media and all of this, there was a thing in the Guardian this morning about older women being unhappy in their portrayal over films, and it's part of a larger survey introducing how different groups are thinking that they're being misrepresented in films. And I don't think we talk about films enough. We talk about media lots and magazines and all of this, but films, they tell a story as well, and I think they're potentially even more powerful in influencing how we think about ourselves, how we think relationships should be, how people should look, how they should lead their life. So that was quite interesting to see. Thank you very much.